Welcome back to the Bull versus the Bear, where we dig into both sides of the story. Today, we are tackling a massive player in the crypto world, BNB. It has been on an absolute monster run, but the big question on everyone's mind is, can it possibly last? All right, let's get into it.
So first off, just look at this number. BNB didn't just hit a new all-time high, it shattered it, pushing its market cap to a staggering $112 billion. If you take out Bitcoin and the big stablecoins, that makes it the third largest crypto on the planet.
And here's what's really wild. This isn't just another coin catching a ride on a market upswing. This makes BNB totally unique. It is the only major, well-established altcoin out there to actually hit a new peak this month. And that powerful rally is what sets up the big debate for us today. Is this a new, solid foundation for a blue-chip asset, or is it the top right before a major drop?
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll dive into the bull case, the story of what seems like unstoppable momentum. Then we're going to flip the script and explore the bear case, which sees a potential storm gathering on the horizon. And finally, we'll lay it all out so you can make up your own mind.
Okay, let's kick things off with the bulls. Why are so many people convinced that BNB's incredible run is really just getting started? Well, the argument goes a whole lot deeper than just a rising price chart.
You see, for the bulls, it's not just about the price going up. Smart investors are looking at the risk they're taking for the reward they're getting. And when you look at a 5-year time frame, BNB has shown way better risk-adjusted returns than both other major cryptos and even traditional stuff like the S&P 500.
The key number here is something called the Sharpe ratio. Now, all that means in simple terms is it's a measure of how much bang you get for your buck risk-wise. BNB's ratio hit 2.5, which is just fantastic. It means it delivered some seriously exceptional returns for the amount of risk involved. That's a sign of really strong performance.
The bulls will also tell you that this rally just feels healthier, more solid. The open interest in BNB futures, which is basically the amount of money in speculative bets, has stayed pretty low. That's a huge clue that this buying pressure is coming from the spot market. You know, from people buying the actual coin to hold for the long term, not just traders making risky short-term bets. And this, right here, is the heart of the bull argument: utility. BNB isn't just some token you trade back and forth. No, it's the actual lifeblood of this enormous ecosystem. It gets you discounts on the Binance exchange. It's the gas that powers thousands of apps on its network. You can stake it to get voting rights, and it's even being used in the real world with companies like Travala. And to top it all off, almost a third of the supply has been permanently destroyed, burned, which creates genuine scarcity.
Now, this brings us to what might be a real game changer: big-time institutional adoption. We're starting to see a huge shift where publicly traded companies are actually adding BNB to their balance sheets, treating it like a legitimate reserve asset.
And get this is the stat that might really surprise you. On a percentage basis, BNB has actually overtaken Ethereum when it comes to corporate treasury holdings. Public companies now hold at least 1% of all BNB out there. That is a massive vote of confidence that could build a really stable long-term floor for demand.
And finally, you just can't argue with the on-chain activity. I mean, at its peak this year, the weekly trading volume on BNB Chain's decentralized exchanges hit over $108 billion. That blew past every other major chain, including Ethereum and Solana. That is a mind-boggling amount of economic activity, all powered by BNB.
Okay, that is a powerful, powerful bull case. But it's only half the story. The bears are looking at the exact same data, and they are seeing some very different and very worrying signs.
So, let's flip the coin and look at the bear case. This whole perspective argues that just beneath that shiny all-time high surface, some serious trouble is brewing.
The very first red flag the bears will point to is user growth, or maybe a lack thereof. The main chain is doing fine, but this chart shows that daily active accounts on OpBNB, that's its super important Layer 2 network for faster transactions, have been steadily dropping all year. That brings up some serious questions about whether the ecosystem is really bringing in new users like it used to.
And then you've got the competition, and believe me, it is fierce. While BNB Chain was crushing it in trading volume, its rivals are making huge moves in other critical areas. Solana especially has seen its stablecoin supply double in just 6 months, jumping over BNB Chain to become the third largest network for stablecoins. That is a key battleground, and right now, BNB is losing ground.
The risks aren't all just inside the crypto bubble either. You gotta zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And right now, the global economy looks pretty shaky. This chart shows the U.S. labor market, which is a huge indicator, is clearly starting to cool off. A slowing global economy is just bad news for risky assets across the board, and no matter how strong BNB is, it can't completely hide from a major downturn.
And finally, there's what we call execution risk. BNB Chain has laid out this incredibly ambitious plan for the future. I mean, they're talking about a 10 times increase in speed, a totally new virtual machine, built-in privacy, bringing hundreds of real-world stocks onto the chain. These are enormous goals. And the bears see this as a huge double-edged sword. If they pull it off, incredible. But if they fail to deliver on these massive promises, it could absolutely torpedo investor confidence.
Okay, so we've heard two very compelling but completely different stories about where BNB is headed. Let's put them right next to each other and see how they stack up.
So on one hand, the bull case, it paints this picture of a maturing, blue-chip asset. It's got proven risk-reward, it's anchored in real, expanding utility, and it's got a new floor of institutional money coming in. But on the other hand, you've got the bear case. It sees a giant that's under serious pressure. Its key scaling solution is seeing fewer users, a major competitor is eating its lunch in stablecoins, the global economy looks dicey, and it has this immense pressure to deliver on a crazy ambitious roadmap.
So, that's the setup. You have the bulls who see a powerhouse just solidifying its spot at the top. And you have the bears who see a giant that's starting to show some serious cracks under all that pressure. The question is, which one of those stories sounds more believable to you?
We really want to hear what you think about this one. So drop your take in the comments below. Are you a bull or a bear on BNB? And tell us why. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to The Bull versus the Bear for more deep dives like this. And hey, if you want to really understand that competitive threat we were talking about, click right here to watch our full analysis on Solana. Thanks for watching.